Hi y'all. Y'all might know me from my Instagram page, Jackal Digs. Y'all might know me in real life. Doesn't really matter. If you're here on my channel, you're here to see what I'm trying to do. In the background, you can kind of see my new project. I've got a 1997 Datsun or Nissan D21 pickup. I have a two-wheel drive 5-speed with the KA24E single overhead cam. This truck didn't cost me a lot of money. It has over 400,000 miles. It's literally going to be a drift truck. That is the goal for this truck. But yeah, I got a few things that I want to do with it, and I'm going to give you guys the list. First thing, this truck has several thousand miles on it. So that means things are worn out. So far, I've already done a basic tune-up, which is an oil change, plugs, wires, cap and rotor. I fixed the misfire it had when I picked it up. It had a random misfire on 2. It actually told me that with my OBD2 scanner. This truck is also a old Pepsi vehicle. It was one of the fleet vehicles that they had. And, you know, Luverne, Alabama, that's where Pepsi is mainly based, is from what I understand, or at least that's where their plant has been for 100 years that I know of. This truck used to be one of theirs. That also helps with the mileage number. It wasn't, you know, some guy just driving it for 400,000 miles. It was several guys driving it for 400,000 miles. The gentleman I bought it from was not an employee of Pepsi. He bought it, and it was one of Pepsi's that they had sold. When you look closely at the truck on the front of the hood, you can see some of the blue paint remnants from where they had them painted. The goals for this truck is to get it ready to drift. That means that I'm going to be doing a lot with the rear end, the suspension. I'm going to be doing things to the interior to make it legal for me to run on a track. Like, for instance, my seatbelts currently, the passenger side works, driver's side does not. Not at all. The seats are worn out with that 400,000 miles. The steering wheel, you can see the metal in it. There's no foam. I have a new steering wheel for it, and I'm just waiting on a couple more things for me to mount into it. The shift knob that was in it, if you've been following me on Instagram, you've seen I've already changed it. They had the stock shift knob, and it wasn't very comfortable to me. I've got a big hand, and that's a tiny shift knob, and it just didn't feel solid when I would shift it. Now, some of the things that I'm going to be doing engine-wise is I'm going to be doing factory deletion of a few things. I'm going to delete the factory fan clutches, and I'm going to install an electric push-pull system. So I'm going to have electric fans pushing and pulling on it to cool the radiator. And some of the other things that I'm going to do is eventually install a hydro brake into the cab. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get a welded differential or if I'm just going to try to find a little slip differential out of something else that would bolt up or be able to be made to bolt up. So, I mean, there's a few things I'm going to be doing with it. But now I'm just going to step back and show you some videos of the truck. I'm going to take a video of it, and everything's going to get edited together, and we should have a, 8 to 10 minute video. Alright, so here's the 97 D21 that I was telling you guys about. The D21 is actually Datsun's codes for it. This is just a Nissan pickup. It's too new for it to be Datsun. Now, on the body code it says D21 in it. It is a D21 chassis. It's just a two-wheel drive pickup. It's obviously white. As I said earlier, it was a Pepsi truck. If you look closely, you can see where the blue is underneath this white. This actual truck, I don't know what happened to it during its lifetime. I haven't talked to anybody that's seen it at Pepsi. It's got several minor issues with it. Obviously, there's some body damage from where tires have either blown out or hitting things while driving through fields or dirt roads. There's things loose. There's busted grill. Right there's a busted grill. Here's one fender that I've already pulled out some. It was all crumpled in and could have hit the tire had I turned sharply to the right. It's got some minor body gap there. As you can see, there's some minor. Let's go ahead and get to the most best part of it. The interior, that is relatively garbage. This seat, trashed. The steering wheel, trashed. There's my new shift knob from 6-speed. That's why I have a sticker on my dash. It's not that I think it's fast, it's just the brand of the shift knob, and you know, they send a sticker with it. I went ahead and stick it on in the truck because that's something that I put on it. It's something for me. Doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to sponsor myself with them, and I'm not saying that they did sponsor me. I bought it, I installed it. They just sent me a sticker, and you know, it's something cool to stick on there because they sent it with it. The bed has some minor rust. It's got a good bed liner in it, but like right here where a toolbox used to be, there's some rust there. It's got a bunch of dirt and grime to it. It's got a bunch of little dings. You can't really see them on this camera here. You can see some of them like right there. But both tail lights are busted. So I mean, it's just an old truck. And I'm hoping to be able to go drifting with it. It's missing a fuel door, but it's got a fuel cap. There is a fuel cap right there, so I should be legal. It doesn't dump fuel when I turn. And I mean, it's not a bad truck for 400,000 miles, which it's actually closer to 500,000. I can show you right here, and these are all original. The motors are still the same as far as I know, and the guy I bought it from knew. It's got 465,015. The trip odometer shows 81. I've already put about 600 miles on this truck since I bought it last Sunday. And it drives really good. It doesn't eat me alive in fuel when I go back and forth to work now. It's a pretty decent little truck. There's a few things I'm going to do, like that hood. I'm going to be getting a earlier model hood that's got the 3 vents in it in the front, so I can have more airflow for the engine. I want to keep the engine bay as cool as possible. Like I said, I'm going to get rid of the fan clutch, and I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood and show you the engine bay. Alright, that right there is all oil and grime from where it's slung it in the past. I've cleaned some of it. As you can see, there's clean spots, and then there's spots that I kind of stopped cleaning while I was doing it. I cleaned the valve cover when I first got it. I've not lost a drop of oil since I changed it, and it looks like they changed the valve cover gasket. When I first opened this engine bay, the first time I saw it, there was oil coated everywhere. Couldn't tell what had been done or anything. They didn't clean anything when they did repairs. The cap and rotor, when I changed everything out, I had a new cap and rotor on the truck when I purchased it, but they were so coated in grease that I couldn't tell until I went to go take them off and I looked at the inside of them. The belts, those are newer belts. They're not dry rotted or anything. This exhaust system is one of the things that I'm going to want to do. I've got a header, and I'm going to run my own exhaust all the way back. I am going to be doing a resonator and a muffler. I'm not going to do the cat. I'm just going to do the O2 sensors in the header and in the exhaust pipe. This is the fan clutch that I said I'm going to replace. You know, the engine actually powers this whenever it gets to a certain temperature. This will lock up and it'll start taking drain on the engine. And it's not a whole lot, but it's enough that when I decide to go ahead and change out the electric fans, I'll actually be doing slightly better. It's just more strain on the electrical system, less strain on the engine. Because I want to drift this, one of the things that I've been told is that I should go to rack and pinion. And I've been looking into it. There's actually a way to do an electrical rack and pinion system. And I've got some ideas on that. I'm not going to do it yet. That's something for way on down the road. When I got the truck, the guy told me it had a brand new clutch in it. He put a new clutch in it. It had a shifting issue, which I've since fixed. It was just the shifter grommet was not in the right position. When they put the shifter back onto it, they just didn't get it set in there right. I've already put a battery in it. It's obviously the wrong battery. As you can see, the terminals are swapped. I got the cables crossed. They're not bare. They're not touching. They're not shorting. They fit. Battery works for the truck to go back and forth to work right now while I'm doing things. A lot of the things that I don't like is all of these emission hoses, all of this shit for smog and for good gas mileage. I've been looking into it. There's a way to clean that all up where I'm not so busy in this engine bay to where I can actually still have everything functioning. I'm just going to be running less hoses. I'm going to simplify it all by quite a bit. And one of the other things that I'm going to do way down the road whenever I'm ready or whenever the lights actually go out is I've got a set of yellow lights to put in here, but I'm not going to put them in before these go out. These lights are good. They work on high and low. I'm not going to worry about changing them until I have to. So that's about it on this truck. I'm honestly excited to do this project. It's a really nice truck, and I know it doesn't look like it right now. Can't really see too well in the dark, but it's an awesome truck, and I've got some ideas. I've got that set of wheels there. I've got the stock set of wheels, and then I've got the aluminum 5-spoke wheels. I've, been gathering some parts for this project for quite a while. I had one that was posted on my Instagram page. It was a red one. It was wrecked. Had some things go on with that one, so I cannot get that one. And I was talking with another customer of mine while I worked at AutoZone when I did. And they had this truck, and they told me that they'd be willing to sell it to me. I didn't throw an arm and a leg at it. It's a cheap truck. It's cheap on gas. It cost me very little money for this truck. And honestly, I've been looking into it. I can easily get an engine and rebuild one, or I can get just a block and completely build one myself. So my goal is to build my own truck, to have something to enjoy for myself. It is a 5-speed, it's rear-wheel drive. I really, really enjoy it, and I do apologize. I live near a highway, and someone just came by with straight pipes for no reason in the middle of the night.